We have a massive week lined up for Bitcoin, and some analysts are predicting a $500,000 for the golden asset. Can that happen? Is it going to be a green week? Is it going to be a red week? We're going to break it down, look at the stories, look at the charts, and talk about BlackRock and their ETF filings. Time to discover crypto.
Capital flight is coming to the United States. The dollar is going to zero.
And that's what makes Bitcoin so special. You have to have gone through a couple cycles to understand.
Once the price is able to clear this level, the breakout is on its way.
This is your indication to jump in now.
$500K is a pipe dream this cycle, I would agree, but it doesn't stop people from making these predictions, folks. It was a very red weekend in moments. Some people got shaken out. I started worrying about my alt positions. Tim is very, very volatile. Are you in any trades? I mean, what is going on with the markets? And can Bitcoin hit 500K in 2024?
Yeah, I'll put it this way. I definitely got a little shocked myself. I entered some trades, very bullish right now on my Bitcoin trade. Got a 4X down there around 43. Love that one. But I got my Cardano one at about 52. I thought I did a great job. Getting right there around 52 cents. And it kept going after bullish divergence. And there's just chart after chart after chart showing bullishness for alts. They kept bleeding. I think the reason why, though, I think the best theory I've heard is it's just selling in anticipation of this ETF, but watch the volume come back in. And also, we'll take a look at some alts. But I know Cardano, for example, it went lower than I thought it would, but it ended up hitting a very key level of support. So I'm still bullish on alts, but maybe just not as much as Bitcoin. We might see Bitcoin make a nice run, and then you buy me a stake because we hit 60% dominance.
I put some more into some Cardano alt positions this weekend, just kind of, I got some DeFi rewards, and, I'm just redeploying the capital there, IAG, just in case you're wondering, everybody. Well, let's look at, should we do the markets first?
Let's do the markets,
we'll do the markets first, and we'll talk about Plan B, $500,000 Bitcoin. First, we do have Bitcoin up a little bit. I want to go ahead and hit refresh. Yeah, up 1.4%, and Ethereum up 1.2%. But after that, there's not many coins that are in the green. I mean, you see DOT inching into the green and Link inching into the green. ICP, though, ICP shaking off all the FUD there, shaking off all the hate, shaking off all the bad rhetoric, and it is pumping almost 10% today. But you did say Cardano's down about 1.6%. Solana's down about 1%. Let's see what is really moving, though. Stacks, Injective, ICP, Render. We really like Render on this channel. Algo is up as well, and VeChain. Drew, you look like you hold VeChain. Do you hold VeChain?
I do not. I do not hold VeChain. Look at, I got Justin. He was just in camera.
All right. We got a secret cameo right there. Have you ever held? You don't look like a VeChain guy.
I'm not a VeChain person. It is one that I've looked at more recently. It's a coin that I think could have an argument for it didn't get an explosive rally, could have more room to the upside. Like I guess the best way to put it, like it might be a better buy right now than still, even after these big dips, like the Solanas of the world. I still think Solana outpaces it, but VeChain could be a good buy if it works out long term from the charts perspective. When it comes to the fundamental side, I haven't done as much research to know if I really want to hold it long term or not.
Well, when it came to fundamentals for ICP, I actually, I was pretty vocal. I peeled off a position that I had in something that is related to storage, is related to, some front end, back end work. And that was Filecoin. I put 2/3 of my Filecoin, I put it into ICP.
Yeah.
Well, look right here for the biggest losers of the day here. You have TIA down 10%, Sats down 8.4%, and Filecoin down 7.7%. Look at Filecoin for the week, down at 30%. So I feel pretty good about that. TIA up 11%, so still in the green there. IOTA is down. Helium, HNT down 10%, also almost down 30% for the week. It's been a volatile week for a lot of coins here. Stacks is still up. Osmo still up. Arbitrum, TIA, say some of the few winners for the week here. But if you look at the losers, several coins fallen 20% or more. So some of these alts have definitely been bleeding. But Plan B is saying it's okay. Calm down. Because Bitcoin's going to $500,000. Seems a little unrealistic. Well, Plan B is expecting a nice 10x for Bitcoin as several indicators start to turn bullish. Here is his 2024 outlook. You're going to need a neon green spaceship because that's how fast we're going to the moon, everybody. He was saying the 10x is in cards as many indicators are flipping bullish here. He was telling his subscribers he doesn't expect Bitcoin to have diminished returns or lesser gains than the previous cycle due to Bitcoin adoption still being in the earlier stages. Let's just talk about that real quickly. Bitcoin fell below 4,000 March 20, and then jumped all the way up pretty close to 70K. So 4,000 into 70K was 17.5 times, 17x for Bitcoin from the market low, which is 15K. Can we do a 15x from 15K?
We can. We definitely can. And the route to do it is what is happening in this bull market. We need the massive institutional adoption. And I know we're going to get into it in all the stories, DZ, today. But yeah, what we're seeing with the excitement happening more than likely within the next 2 days, we're going to see an approval of the ETF. When we have a halving happening here in just a couple of months, you're not going to kill all the retail investors. In fact, the institutions getting into it should bring even more retail investors in. So while I'm not ready to necessarily place a bet that I think that we're going to get to 500,000, it definitely is reasonable. And I think you and I talked about this last time, or maybe I talked with somebody else about it. Maybe it wasn't on this channel, but let's also go back and remember the $100,000 prediction for 2021 wasn't ridiculous. It just didn't get hit because there was heavier manipulation during that market. Do we take a little bit of like, are we comparing the top of this next market to the top of the last market, in which case it really didn't get as high as it should have? In reality, we should have hit 100,000. And then if we had hit 100,000 this last bull market, 500,000 is really not that unrealistic of a thought.
Shake and Bake has a pretty interesting thought here. 2% year over year on Bitcoin, more or less forever. I can see that in the advanced stages, only if they were able to keep our inflation in line at 2%. I think Bitcoin will increase once it's fully matured and it's got the full use adoption. 90% of people use it. Mm-hmm. I think then we could just see whatever global inflation is, that's what Bitcoin's price rise would equal. But let's go back to Plan B's, assessment here for a 500K Bitcoin. If we follow the logistic S-curve and Metcalfe's law, we can't have diminishing returns below 50% adoption. So we'll have exponential growth for a couple more years. I expect a nice 10x that brings it somewhere in between the 100K to $1 million range. He also looks at his model that aims to pinpoint the stages of the cycles by analyzing the cost basis of the majority of Bitcoin. According to Plan B, they're now crossing above the average cost basis of coins, which is a hallmark bull run feature here. So right now, we've left the bull market of 22 behind us. We've crossed all the cost prices. So a lot of people are in profit right now, and Bitcoin is above the cost prices, and it's rising, especially in the realized price, which is going up again. Where will that bring us? Somewhere in the 100K to $1 million range. If history is any guide, that is a pretty large range. 100K to 1 million. So other people with a little bit more, I would say, inline predictions, a little bit more realistic predictions. 2024, I asked me a year ago when it came in a little bit more bearish. That was before all the ETF news we're seeing with the world's largest asset manager. I'm predicting, so I said we'll pass all-time high in December. I think we pass all-time high in September. What would you say?
Early, yeah. I like that timeline. September. I think I said end of summer, which would put it in August. So August, September area would not surprise me, especially if everything goes smoothly. Because here's the thing we got to remember. Of course, James was on with us Friday. But we got this first approval more than likely coming. A lot of people expecting Wednesday. And then how fast does the Fed move on doing the second layer of it? I don't remember all the letters he used and everything else, but there's 2 levels of this approval. If that goes off without a hitch, if what we expect from the election cycle goes off without a hitch, and that means the economy is going to continue to do well, and we see potentially rate cuts happen, which we're seeing potentially probabilities happening. It could happen as soon as March. If all of these things happen correctly, then yeah, I think we could hit new all-time highs by summer and end the year above 80K, if not pushing closer to that 6-figure number we want. The question I really have is not how bullish 2024 will be, is how bullish will 2025 be? Yeah, we'll get through all the election crap. And now it's like, who's the new president? Is it going to be one that ruins the economy, or is it going to be one that they blame for everything? It's
not going to be a bunch of crap, okay? We're going to have paper ballots, and we'll know the election results the same day we have it, and we'll have the day off work, right?
Okay.
These seem like reasonable requests. Some would say they should be demands. Yeah. All right, let's talk about this Bitcoin ETF, and then we're going to have Tim look at some charts. But right before the charts, we're going to talk about the biggest things happening this week. It's going to be this might be the most volatile week for Bitcoin we've seen all year. No, we've seen probably since the collapses of 22. So I would say a yearly high for volatility this week. Very, very potential here. Bitcoin ETF inches from the finishing line. SEC is now accepting the 19B4 forms. If you want to learn more about that, we singled out the interview we did with, was it James from Bloomberg? You can check that out on the channel here. Well, the journey towards the ETF approval appears to be reaching its climax after 4 long months of anticipation and constant delays from the SEC. The key players include, let's just go to the tweet here. So we have the key players here. It was 10. Remember, 8.5 was the over-under. We ended up coming in 1.5 above, so it looked like it was 10. These are the issuers, aside from hashtags, that have submitted their updated S1s, or S3 in Grayscale's case, because they have a little bit of a different situation. So unless there's last-minute filing from them today, these are the issuers that could potentially be ready for Wednesday. Grayscale, ARC21, BlackRock, Bitwise, VanEck, Wisdom Tree, Invesco, Fidelity, Valkyrie, and Franklin. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we got 10 potential issuers going to be launching.
Which 2 or which 1 doesn't get accepted if we get the 8.5?
It's going to be 1.5. It's going to be black, but not rock. And so that's how that one's going to work. I almost misspoke there. That would have been real bad. Also, we have Eric talking about this. Latest he's hearing, it's due 8 a.m. on Monday as they're trying to line up everybody for 11. This is one of those situations I cannot highlight. As soon as I let go, okay, I figured that. All right, I'll try highlighting 4 more times. Don't worry. So we have, it's due. It's past time.
Yep.
It's 2 hours and 42 minutes ago. The ship has sailed for the ETFs for Bitcoin. What are we going to see on Wednesday? I'm feeling 10. If we get 10 approvals Wednesday, do we get a green candle on Wednesday, Tim?
We're going to get a green candle. Here, you want to know why we're going to get a green candle? It's not even going to have anything to do with charts or any of this news. We have to go back to something from last week when we had a dip in Bitcoin's price. Why did Bitcoin dip last week? Easy.
Because I put my hands up on my hips and then I dipped and Bitcoin dipped.
Yep,
is that what it was?
That's a funny way of saying
exactly
Jim
what
Cramer.
Jim Cramer, yes, the reverse indicator.
But
Cramer.
remember what Jim Cramer said. He said Bitcoin's not going to quit, but the ETF will do what?
I thought he said the sea was angry that day, my friends. No, that was Costanza. No, what did Cramer say?
We're gotten far away. He said that the Bitcoin train won't stop, but the ETF approval will be a sell the news event. What does that mean, Deezy? It's a buy the news event.
Oh, so we got to reverse Cramer again.
We got to reverse Cramer again in play. That should bring us
So
green
Cramer
candles.
says it's going down on Wednesday if we're approved.
Yep.
Well, that's all I needed to know. That's actually all I needed to know.
And I forgot who I was talking to. I forgot that I have. If I ask you too many open-ended questions, we get some of the greatest answers. And it delayed. It wasted like 30 seconds of people's time. But you know what? 30 seconds well spent. We got to the answer, and you got a interesting.
Look, I think there's a high percentage of our audience did watch Seinfeld, and they appreciated the Cosmo Kramer reference. Okay,
sure, yeah. I mean, T-Shirt probably did. T-Shirt watches Seinfeld. I don't watch Seinfeld. So.
I haven't seen an episode in like 10 years, but you know what? It was a big part of my youth growing up in middle school. All right, we have a couple more X posts that because I highlighted all the stories there. All right, BlackRock, other potential ETF providers reveal the fees. Now it's time to talk about the fees. This was a full-blown Price is Right moment. And we were talking about Price is Right. It's like, how much for the dishwasher? And you're like, $1,000. And then the person looks at you and you're like, oh, I definitely know it costs more than that. And they say $1,001 or they're going $1 below.
Yeah.
This is what we're seeing with the Bitcoin ETF fees. They're coming in 0.25%. Yeah. Oh, I'll come in 0.24. BlackRock said its fee will start at 0.2 and then rise to 0.3. So it's going to start at 20 basis points for 12 months. Until the fund reaches $5 billion, and then it'll settle at 30 basis points. So it's like, hey, FOMO, they're literally creating FOMO. It's like some sort of liquidity pool or NFT mint. Oh, we're going to mint out at $5 billion. And then after that, it's 30 basis points. Fidelity, 0.39% fee. Actually, I have the fees lined up here. I'll just go to my Twitter here. I think I hit it on likes. Where do we got here? Oh, it's under replies because I remember I Price is Righted it. It's somewhere. Here we go. All right. Respective Bitcoin ETF fees. A little bit hard to see here. Maybe I can zoom in a tad there. All right. Grayscale, much higher than everybody. Off the charts. Hashtags, Valkyrie. Then, coming in below that, Invesco, Wisdom Tree, 0.5. Fidelity, 0.39. Here you can see BlackRock, 0.3. but then will fall to 0.2, putting them lower than even Bitwise at 0.24. So we have a little bit of this is a very, very bullish sign, I would say.
It's only a matter of time, though, before all those come down to those like that 0.3 level, though. It's like gas stations. A lot of them are across the street from each other. And if one dips its price by 10 cents, yeah, you might have a couple of hours where you have that 10-cent cheaper gas station. But then after an hour, it's like, all right, we're going to lower our price as well. So I think Grayscale just didn't get the news yet. And they're still waiting to lower theirs.
It'll happen. Seinfeld favorite episode, the Kenny Rogers Chicken, was a pretty good episode. That's the one with the bright red light. So you may have seen on some memes. Van Eck has a pretty good marketing tactic for their Bitcoin ETF. They're going to pledge 5% of profits from yet to be approved spot ETF to Bitcoin core developers. They're pulling a page from Jack Dorsey's playbook. My question here is, are we going to see one of those Hollywood accounting situations where it's like, oh, I signed over this book rights to make this movie, and then Disney made a movie, but then Disney said, oh yeah, we never eked out any profit. And then you're like, yeah, I was supposed to get a profit share. Then they have like some sort of financially wrangling, and then you end up with nothing. So how would they determine the profits? Are they going to say, oh yeah, we got to subtract, everything? I don't know.
I don't know. I know we discussed this on Saturday. T. Schumann and I did on Investing Bros, and they said it went well with ETF. So they did this, Ethereum's ETF, the futures ETF. They took their profits from the Ethereum ETF. They gave it over. It's gone really, really well. I don't know what really, really well means. Like, what are they doing this for? What are they getting out of it is what I want to know. But I don't know. You're good question there, DZ. What do the profits look like? How do you acquire those? But they've done it for Ethereum. And so they're just saying, hey, it worked there. There's some profitability and some positivity there. So let's try this with Bitcoin as well.
And I looked up a couple examples, and they're almost too juicy not to share. When I was talking about, our profits. What's your profits? Oh, it's actually zero. What are you talking about? You made all this money. Yeah, but once you open our financial books, all these. You didn't think of the expenses. What's the worst example we saw in Hollywood? Well, there's two of them. Stan Lee was supposed to get 10% of the profit from the first Spider-Man. They made $800 million. Oh, but they made a loss, y'all. They made a loss. They made $800 million, but they made a loss. Also, Return of the Jedi, it's never gone into profit. Never gone into profit. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So I applaud them donating funds to the Bitcoin core developers. I think it's doing a really good service to the world. I'd want to look under the hood to see what those profits are. Festivus for the rest of us is a good one. Oh my God, George turning smart. Also, Jerry not being funny. What's one of your favorite ones, Drew?
When Kramer rented or borrowed or took a car for a test drive and on one tank of gas.
Yes. Pushing the line of your tank of gas. You ever push how low your tank gas can go?
I don't. My wife does all the time. I have had to
does that bother you, Tim?
No comment.
Okay.
I like to stay married.
Is it like a Thelma and Louise situation? She's like, honey, hold my hand. And you're like, I hope we make it.
It's a classic. Oopsie.
Oh, has it happened lately? No comment.
It hasn't happened in a year, but before that, it happened for you.
Okay, so not while she was pregnant or anything.
No. Maybe once.
That's okay. It's your fault. It's your fault.
It's always my fault. Yeah, that's true.
It was your fault. Yeah. The water was cold like a frightened turtle. All right. Speaking of frightened turtles, Gary Gensler. I didn't play in that one. Gary Gensler's closest associates send reject Bitcoin spot ETF letter to the SEC. Could it affect the decision? Goldman Gary, his best friend, kind of. One of Goldman Gary's best friends sent the SEC a letter saying, oh, you can't pass that Bitcoin ETF. Oh, there's nothing suspicious about that at all, right? Well, Grayscale argues that this court decision should not force the SEC to deviate from its previous decision to approve multiple ETFs. And who is Gary's friend? Better Markets. Oh, what is this? A non-profit organization or potential NGO over here? And they sent a letter to the SEC saying it opposes the approval here. In a rare move, they filed a supplemental comment letter arguing that the SEC approving the change would be a major, if not historic, mistake and would result in major investor losses. Bloomberg analysts commented on the situation here, James, friend of the channel here, stating that given the time, effort, and energy expended by all these applicants and the SEC staff over the past few months, a denial would almost certainly be a criminal act. Ooh, I like that. It would be criminal to deny the people what they want. Almost seems like a good thing there. But you know what the people really want, Tim? People want your charts. People want to know if you're in a trade. They want to see what made you get in this Bitcoin long. You are in profit. Congrats on that. Well, what else is going on? Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to set you up here. Okay. We got a whole lot of big important things for the week. I'm just going to list them real quick. Well, we got Bitcoin. All right, so today we have the 4 p.m. deadline for submit amended S1s. We have a FOMC member speaking. Wednesday, this is when we're really expecting the ETFs here, the final decision date for 10 of them. We have a Polygon partnership announcement. We also have CPI monthly here. CPI, so there's going to be some CPI data. And then Friday, PPI data. So we got CPI, we got PPI. We got, it sounds like an R. Kelly song.
Yeah.
What am I talking? All right, what are the charts telling us here?
Yeah, no, the reason I went long did have to do with this symmetrical triangle pattern that it's been very, very weird here. So I entered in back over here over on the 5th. So I've been in this trade now for a while. Not that I don't want to scalp anymore, but I just got to a place I was like, you know what? Sometimes scalping, you got to take some days off. You don't want to be too anxious all the time, always staring at your chart. So entered 4x long here on Bitcoin, working out well. Now, this symmetrical triangle pattern, we literally went to the exact peak. We went, I think I said this too, it was like 7 p.m. on Saturday night was when we had to make a decision. Well, we had a candle close at 7 p.m. pretty much right there in it. We broke to the upside technically, but then came back down, retesting the resistance level further to the downside. But now we're making a break to the upside. I like what I'm seeing here. Definitely, though, not surprise me. We're kind of reversing right in this area. When you look at our liquidations here, we definitely had some heavy liquidity in this area. Let's even refresh this. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's right. On here, I always forget. I got to try to tell me when I've done good enough. Further. All right. You have to trust me on these numbers, guys.
Trust me, bro.
Yeah, we do have some further liquidations to the upside, closer towards 46. So not going to be surprised if we make a push up there. But we did clear out a lot over here at lower levels of 44. In fact, now that I just zoomed in, this is a hard one to show. We got to figure out a way to redo this because there was on lower time frames, on 12-hour, heavy liquidations right at about 44,000. So not surprised we moved to the upside. There is heavy liquidations. I've seen a lot of bears talking about the ones down low below us. So, of course, everyone's still talking about that CME gap that drops below 40,000. At this point, though, I still feel pretty strongly we're not going to be filling that gap for right now. James, in that interview on Friday, made me question if we're ever going to fill it, the way he talks about what price could do after this approval. But I still feel I still feel pretty good about prices going back below 40,000 at some point. Coming back over to our charts, though, here, keep your eyes. Let's take a look at a couple things here to keep your eyes on. Our area high here, pretty much right at 46. We do here, this is a cool indicator on Lux Algo that shows you the movements, the lows and the highs. Right now, we have a strong low all the way down at 40,200 and a weak high. What that means is, hey, there's no guarantees, nothing's 100%, but it feels very strongly about a move would be easier to break through 46K than 40,000 at this point. So that's the reason to be bullish. You also see on our high or premium level and our low level down here, there's an equilibrium. We came back down here this wick. If anyone's wondering, hey, why did we dip after breaking out a symmetrical triangle? We came back down, retesting that equilibrium level perfectly before bouncing to the upside. And when you pull up the oscillators, everything is starting to flash green, starting to move back to the upside.
Are we seeing some volume, big buys? Because I'm thinking of a rumor. So is it confirmed that we are seeing a lot of buys here?
So what a lot is a relative term. We don't see as much volume as we saw here the other day, but look at the volume we've had since this massive wick down back here on the 3rd. This is the highest volume
a couple days ago
we've seen.
Well, you know what happened a couple days ago? Remember Tether? Here, share my screen real quick. Remember Tether printing $2 billion? People wondering a major pump incoming. Well, is it linked? Is it linked to BlackRock potentially lining up $2 billion for a spot ETF? Potential. I don't know. That's just a rumor, folks. That's just a rumor. $2 billion from over here, $2 billion rumor over here. Is it linked? Is it just a coincidence? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I like it though.
I think so. We on Friday, if you guys went back and watched the show, we did the TA on that. What happens when we see massive inflows in the market cap of Tether? You don't see a time that you don't see Bitcoin's price shoot to the upside.
Speaking of Friday, did you happen to watch the Cat Williams interview?
I have not seen the whole thing. I've been watching clips of it, but I literally, I spent the weekend with Brody and my wife. So Brody's my son.
How dare you spend time with your baby
I didn't sit down and watch the whole thing, but I really need to at some point.
Me and Kat watched like the first 2 hours, pretty much the whole thing Friday night.
Yeah.
We didn't plan on it. You know, I didn't know it was that long.
Yeah.
And then we just kept being like intrigued and just kept watching it.
Now here's the question, and we're not going to go too far down here, but there's something really big happening right now in the world that a lot of people don't want you to talk about and think about. Is the Cat Williams thing just another distraction to keep people from talking about something else in the news that's really, really big?
Dementia Hitler? What are we talking about here? I don't know. I'll say this. It was...
There's a list. There's a list that has been released recently.
Yeah, the list. There's no big news.
Well, we also had that like thing in Miami where people are claiming there's aliens going on. Cat Williams is talking with Shannon Sharp and leasing. I'm just saying, it always happens when there's massive news that a lot of wealthy and heavily influential people
Pro
say.
Shop, all types of weird things. Happening there.
Oh yeah, the Bass Pro Shop guy.
I will say this: Bernie Mac though, GOAT. Bernie Mac was the GOAT. So Cat Williams 100% right on that.
Okay.
All right, back to the charts. Back to the charts. Sorry.
No, as a whole, not going to be surprised to see a little bit of hesitancy around 46K before a bigger break for Bitcoin is what I'm looking at. Now, I hinted earlier. We're not going to be able to get through all the alts. So if you have any questions you want to ask me on alts, I can look at them. I do want to say for Cardano, because you and me, DZ, are both Cardano guys. Yeah, we fell way further than I thought we would. But look at my chart right here. We bounced perfectly off of that high in April.
I was looking at that. I know. I was looking at it. In fact, you go back even further. That was it's a very, very...
That 46
look at that. Look at that. I mean, it is just... It's a popular area.
A lot of support. Resistance over here on the way up that if
I was bearish enough, I would have opened a long, a market or long around then. I was too bullish though. I was like, there's no way it goes that low.
I mean, we showed a lot of fight around 52, 51 cents. And we had if you come in here, look at the 4-hour chart and pull up my oscillators here. Look at the bullish divergence we had in here on the 4-hour, on the 1 hour. We're flashing buys all over the place. MACD is sitting super low. It's crossing. So this big plunge last night, while it took me by surprise, it did set up another level of bullish divergence on longer time frames. And again, that's the biggest thing in my mind. And I've said this before. Remember the XRP stuff? Remember back in July when everyone was so bullish on XRP? And I feel like I was the only one saying, guys, you don't blast through resistance like this without coming back down to test it at some point. And we're talking about the 55, 57 cent range. It's bullish to come back down to those levels and bounce off of them. Well, that's exactly what Cardano just did. So am I saying that we're not going to cross lower than that? Am I saying we're never going to see below 46 cents ever again? No, but for the short time period, I do believe this is bullish. And I'm not going to be surprised to see alts continue to move to the upside. I don't think they'll move as powerfully as Bitcoin. I think we're back in a phase right now where Bitcoin will be the main mover. I think the Bitcoin dominance will continue to climb. Similar to 2019, I shot a video this morning. I'm going to just show very quickly, and if people want to see more about this, they can watch my video over on Investing Bros. But look right here, DZ. Back in 2019, we've compared this a couple different times, but look at the high right here that we hit in May, right there at the end of May, and then we shot up. This is like another 70-something%. We shot up to this other high in June. Take a look at these other coins that were around back then. For example, I'll just show you Ethereum and Cardano, but you'll look at others and see the same thing with altcoins. Let's go right here. We had our high here in May, high here in June. It's a higher high, but it only went up like 20-something%. Same thing with Cardano. If I can zoom back out here, Cardano almost barely even went to a new high in that period. This is the end of May right in here. That's the end of June. So I still think Cardano could make 70 cents, but I at one point was saying, could we make it to 100? Could we make $100? I'm getting a little bit less optimistic about $1 before the halving, feeling more optimistic. I still think 70 cents is a good spot for Cardano before a bigger pullback, at least for alts, if not for Bitcoin as well.
All right. I like those levels. All right. Well, let's get back to $1 billion Bitcoin here. $1 billion in Bitcoin transferred from major exchange before key Bitcoin ETF. So we're seeing $2 billion rumors over here, $2 billion being printed over here, and another $1 billion being transferred from an exchange there. So we're seeing a lot of movements, folks. I would just feeling like a very volatile week. It's feeling like a choppy week, and you got to be careful out there, folks. But it's feeling like an exciting week here. All right, Red Fox, my mother said it was the funniest comedian she ever saw. She was crying the whole time, she said. All right, SEC reissues crypto FOMO warning amid hope for spot ETFs. We were looking at that tweet earlier. It's pretty interesting. Say no to FOMO from the SEC investor education. So this is like an official account here.
Yeah.
I like how they're trying to stop you from buying Bitcoin. The government released all these posts trying to stop you from buying Bitcoin. What does that make you want to do? Makes me want to buy Bitcoin. Makes me. I don't even remember the last time I bought Bitcoin. I've been buying alts. Might be time to just bust off a whole boring DCA buy again.
It's also a further confirmation in case anyone's sitting here wondering, wow, are we going to get the approval this week? This is the same thing they did the week of the Ethereum futures ETF approval. I believe they did it the week of the Bitcoin one as well, but we definitely know the Ethereum one. And it's like this is their way of doing their due diligence of protecting investors by saying, don't FOMO in, even though we're about to see some massive candles because we're going to approve this thing and trillions of dollars are going to come into it.
Feels like you went from being an XRP channel to an ADA channel. Can we jump to a more exciting alt? All right, guys, we are now a dog with hat channel. Okay, I need to find me a hat. I need to find me a dog. And then, hey, the rebranding is complete there. All right, well, let's talk about.
Just Brian, I think a good place. What are the coins? You guys go ahead and spam the chat, spam the comments. What are the coins you guys feel like should get the highest level of attention? Is it Chainlink? I mean, I think Link should be up there. Is it AVAX?
Is Avalanche? Yeah.
What coins do you guys think should be like something covered at least once a week on this show, on this channel? Everything that's happening in that coin that week. We'd love to help you guys. That's what the channel's here for. Yeah, we're going to stack our bags. We have things we like, but we're also here to help you guys.
Well,
what do you guys want to see?
You know I'm biased. I'm choosing Cardano.
Yeah.
What do you choose?
I like Cardano because of the decentralization. But like I said, Link is I predicted like a couple months ago that Link might be the number 3 altcoin by the end of this bull market.
I can see that. All right, we have we can talk about Cardano more. We can talk about Chainlink more.
Yeah.
Drew, don't say DAG. What's your coin?
We need to talk about ICP more. I talk about as much as I can, but yeah, ICP is.
I see people saying ICP. There's a lot of things heating up. Do you think ICP will become a top 10? A lot of people speculating on that.
I think it has potential. ICP, the more devs I talk to, the more excited I get about it. Can that equate into retail demand? It just depends on what these devs can build. They still needs a killer DApp. It needs a killer DApp if it has that, because it seems like the infrastructure is there. It has the machinery, okay? It has the chassis. It has the platform. It has the wheels. It has the gas tank. But can it have that exciting shell that people look at it and they say, "Oh, I definitely want to buy that," or is it going to be like the Edsel? We don't know yet. We don't know yet. All right. People still Solana, IC Algo, HBAR. Link, okay, ICP. A lot of people excited.
You know what I'm surprised we're not seeing more of in here, and it has been boring recently. So that's probably explains why. Caspa is another one that I think is a dark horse candidate for a top 10 coin.
Yeah, for sure. Top 10 coin.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about VC Palihapitiya here. Got raked over the coals for selling Solana, allegedly. Well, he is saying it's going to be the biggest year ever for Bitcoin that has ever existed here. So he was one of the first Facebook executives. He was also early on in Bitcoin. He's recognized for his early investment in Bitcoin and his vocal support for the industry here. He's been an advocate for Bitcoin, often discussing his potential as a hedge against financial systems and a store of value. His investment in Bitcoin dates back to 2012. And relatively, it was still unknown. Well, he has a bullish outlook for Bitcoin in 2024. He's saying that the approval of several ETFs could be a game changer, marking a huge milestone in Bitcoin's journey here. These ETFs will open doors for broader segments of the population, including those who've previously had limited exposure. This development, he suggests, could be pivotal in driving the widespread adoption of Bitcoin. His vision extends to Bitcoin becoming a huge part of the traditional finance lexicon by the end of 2024. Here's his quote. "I think this is the most important year for Bitcoin that has ever existed. We're probably days away from a series of ETFs being approved. And so this is the moment for Bitcoin that uses the old term, cross the chasm, and really see mainstream adoption where our parents and grandparents understand what it is, can buy it, and then do buy it. And I think that if all of this comes to pass, it will become a part of the traditional financial lexicon by the end of 24. That is my most anticipated trend of the year." So yeah, he had it as his top trend of the year. It was the beginning of the year episode. You talk about the biggest trends in politics, business, finance, whatever. And then you go over last year's predictions there. They got pretty good track record. I'll say that.
I don't know if you want to take a break here, DZ, and into some more breaking news. We kind of referenced it a second ago.
I'll break dance during the break.
Ooh.
To break down from
news.
Tom Petty, but EDM version.
23 minutes ago, Gary Gensler just posted a thread on Twitter with pretty much talking about risks. We mentioned it, but he himself posted a thread about risks of investing in crypto. Let's see a thread. Let's see. One, those offering crypto assets investment services may not be complying with applicable laws, including federal security laws. Investors in crypto asset securities should understand they may be deprived of key info and other important protections in connection with their investment. So, first one right there, his first point, watch out for these decentralized exchanges, pretty much is who he's going after. He's kind of taking a swing at crypto as a whole. Investments in crypto assets also can be exceptionally risky and are often volatile. A number of major platforms and crypto assets have become insolvent and or lost value. Investments in crypto assets continue to be subject to significant risk. He continues to attack the same ones. Last one, here we go. Here's the fraudsters and the hucksters. Fraudsters continue to exploit the rising popularity of crypto assets to lure retail investors into scams. These investments continue to replete with fraud.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a word. Bogus coin offerings, Ponzi and pyramid schemes, and outright theft where a project promoter disappears with investors' money. So again, nothing new information here, but the fact that he posted this, DZ, do you think that this is kind of Gary getting at, like what we just kind of speculated on? Is this Gary doing his due diligence to say, you know what, I'm washing, if anyone loses money in crypto, I'm washing my hands. I'm going to approve this ETF, but I warned them. Is this a good sign for Bitcoin holders?
I like that. That's him washing his hands, so to speak, saying, yeah, look, I gave you the warning, if you get wrecked, when you get wrecked. Yeah, I like that theory. I think that's the best theory.
Yeah, I think it's a positive thing. And it's not new information. We've heard him say this before, but that seems like something's a brewing over at the Fed this morning. That should be a positive thing.
Is it time for a Gary Gensler fun fact? Gary Gensler has a twin brother, and his twin brother's name is Rob.
And he enjoys beaches.
Rob. What's a verb? That's a verb. What does Rob mean?
To steal.
And plunder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so his brother's name is to plunder you. Interesting. Why does his brother look like what's Andrew Tate's brother?
Tristan.
Why does he look like the Tristan, right? Why does he kind of look like Tristan Tate? He's literally the Tristan of Gary here. I mean, come on, tell me that is definitely, there's definitely strong Tristan vibes here. I don't know what's going on. Something about the eyelids. That's kind of funny. All right, let's talk about some secret Bitcoin moving around. Some weird, guys, I keep telling you, this is going to be one of the most momentous weeks for Bitcoin. And if you want to stay up to date, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button and go ahead and hit that notification button. Where are we on likes, Drew?
Oh, we need more. We need to smash them likes. 178. We got to get to 300 ASAP.
Come on.
Smash the likes for Gary's brother, Rob.
Come on, we can get 500 likes.
I like how, is the simulation playing with us? We got Rob, I don't know, Altman, Rob. None of this makes sense. Okay, scam, Bankman, fried you. All right, someone spent $66,000 to inscribe data on Bitcoin. No one knows what it says. It's the Epstein client list. And we don't know what it says. So it is to inscribe almost 9 megabits of encrypted data on the blockchain. It costs thousands of dollars each in fees, although most of the transactions were, around $200. They had joked about this. What's the motivation going on here? I don't want to click on that just because it could be that Twitter thread could be a little risky. Who knows what people are going to say is on there? Who knows? Here we have this was pretty interesting too. Mystery transfer. Unidentified wallet sent $1.2 million in Bitcoin to the Genesis block. This is Satoshi Nakamoto's Genesis address. This is the first 50 Bitcoin. This is the first 10-minute block. The only person who could ever open this or ever obtain this is Satoshi Nakamoto himself or themselves. So they dispatched $1.2 million. It's 27 Bitcoin. And the motivation is a mystery, especially since they are essentially non-spendable. Let's see. This is a distinction. This is the inaugural block of the Bitcoin blockchain. Is 50 Bitcoin mining reward is frozen due to not being included in the unspent transaction output set. I didn't even know that part. This outcome wasn't necessarily deliberate, but rather an artifact of the original code structure. That kind of sounds right. I remember the first ones. They're updating a lot the first week or so. In a conversation with the founder of BitcoinParser.com, who discovered the transfer, he highlighted, in the world of Bitcoin, incoming transactions are not proof, but outgoing transactions are.
Yeah.
What's interesting about this transaction is the fact that this address is fundamentally incapable of initiating outbound transfers anchored by the foundational rules. I saw rumors. I don't know if you guys have any rumors. Chat, do you have any rumors? The funniest one I saw, someone that owed Craig Wright money. And they said, oh, well, you're Satoshi, right? Here's your money.
That's actually pretty funny.
That is pretty funny. Although it'd be in the wrong block. It'd be like, hey, you need to put in that second block. But that was a good one. Any rumors?
It is crazy. I think the part that's crazy is obviously people send money this wall all the time. 1.2 million though. That's a lot of money to make a joke or to do. And it's like you effectively just burned that because you're right. Like we're not going to see that wallet ever sell and move that money onto an exchange and take profit. So it's one of those things that does make you scratch your head. But it,
C90, one of the other rumors I saw, Satoshi going to become a felon if he doesn't send his social security number within 14 days.
Gosh.
So now, it's like now IRS.
Oh my gosh.
We got Johnny Taxman involved. Yeah.
Well, then why didn't they just send him $10,001? Why did they send 1.2 million?
This one sounds better though. BlackRock trying to cause FUD. It could be marketing. It could be marketing for these ETFs. It could be, what if it was one of these ETFs reveals themselves on Wednesday of being the one that did this. Also, same thing with that inscription. It could just be like, go to blackrock.com/Bitcoin ETF.
At the end of the day, like T-Shroom and we covered this on Saturday, Saturday right after it broke. It made me scratch my head the rest of the day. I ultimately walk away from this thing saying, this is the most pointless and stupid thing. Like what it just did, we just burned $1 million. That's equivalent.
It made your Bitcoin more valuable.
That 26 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
We just burned 26 Bitcoin that we'll never see ever again. Is what we just saw. That's it. That's what we need to walk away with.
Yeah. And there's 1 million less in circulation, and so now it's more valuable.
Do you think there will ever become a point? Because on one hand, yes, you lower the supply as the demand increases. That means price goes up. But at a certain point, if we get to a place where hefty percentages of Bitcoin are locked up and you can never utilize it, could we ever kill Bitcoin because it's like, oh, well, it's literally not transactable anymore. We killed it all. Like the only people hold it will never sell.
I like to think that, you break it down as Satoshi, which is 1/100,000th, correct? And you got 21 million. I mean, it's divisible enough where it wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
It would be, heck, even a penny, certain points in our time history, you had to break a penny. And so you had to cut pennies and I don't know. With inflation, we'll see. How did Gary father 3 children? Missionary, the sole purpose of procreation. All right, let's talk about Titans of Bitcoin. Who holds the most Bitcoin in 2024? This is business entities. It doesn't go over particular individuals. So number 1, MicroStrategy, almost 200K. They have 189,000 Bitcoin, which is about 0.9%. I want to say Mt. Gox has a lot on there. I think that's on here. Tesla, they have 10,000, which is almost $500 million. Coinbase holds 9,000, which is almost 400 million. Galaxy Digital Holdings, 350 million worth. Block. But we got other types of companies. We also have Mt. Gox. The entity, this is actually not correct anymore. I want to say it's around 140,000 Bitcoin because they have some disbursements. Block 1, Tether. This might even, this sounds about right. Tether has $2.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. Tezos Foundation, they got it in cheap early, like years ago with their ICO. And some mining companies hold some as well. Marathon, they had 15,000 Bitcoin. Hut 8, not to be just confused with Pizza Hut. And then ETFs are going to be holding some as well. Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, but
that like if Pizza Hut
really
and Motel 8 created a cross company.
Yeah.
Hut 8.
Yeah. So do you want to stay in a room where you have to work?
Yeah.
You have to serve pizzas, but then don't worry, you get to go to sleep after the restaurant closes as well. Let's see, which could be expressed. All right, Satoshi 100 millionth of a Bitcoin, not 100,000, 100 million. Okay. Infinitely divisible. Won't they have to update the code to go past a Satoshi? I'm not sure. I'm not a Bitcoin core dev. Okay, then we can divide one sat into 100 million subsats and start all over again. Okay, so Mark, I think he's kind of saying, yeah, we can do it, but we
could take like 1 million and just start, rebuild it.
Yeah, and it's coming in already a fraction of a penny, so it's not really.
Yeah, as long as it never gets broken to where they could make a 21 million in one Bitcoin as a whole Bitcoin. As long as we can't create it new like that, I'm fine with continuing to divide it down to smaller and smaller fractions.
Let's see. Hut 8 with a buffet would slap. I don't know if you saw, someone had opened a retro Pizza Hut They had ordered old red cups.
With the
They
buffet?
brought back a salad bar buffet.
Dude, that is
They had old lighting that
part
they
of my
like bought on
childhood.
eBay.
After a football game, going to the Pizza Hut buffet.
That actually seems like a really good business model.
Yeah.
Like, find you a Pizza Hut franchise and then make it a retro Pizza Hut.
Oh yeah.
It would be one of the biggest
But
date
these
night
days,
areas for
here's-
kids and everything.
I can't remember the price. What do you think Pizza Hut, if you were to buy the buffet, what do you think that's going to cost now?
Ooh, good question.
Golden Corral,
well,
like
CC's
$19
pizza
a
used to
meal?
be $5.
It's also cardboard. I'll say the dessert stuff was amazing, but yeah, CC's isn't winning any awards. But Pizza Hut, still decent pizza. I feel like that would be like a $20 all you can eat buffet.
What would Pizza Hut buffet cost today? They got to come in slightly below 20 to make it done and hurt as bad. Yeah, it might be like $17.99, might be
Yeah.
like $18. Do you think we'll see a Bitcoin commercial during the Super Bowl? That is a really good question, Mario Sanchez. So it would be an ETF filer, more than
Hey,
likely.
what if-
I guess it could be.
What if it was a BlackRock ETF?
That'd be pretty bullish.
That would be nuts, though. That would be pretty nuts. Because
Who's going to be in the Super Bowl?
who's gonna? It's
I'm
hard
not
to.
I'm not a football guy. I don't know.
The Ravens are looking like a strong contender from the AFC, and I would say at this point in the NFC, the 49ers, San Francisco's looking strong. That one, you have a couple other contenders, but I would say at this point, I would put odds on favorite for a Ravens versus San Francisco game.
CC's Pizza, all you can eat for $2.99.
Yeah.
Did you know Pizza Hut was the largest buyer of kale in the world? That's pretty cool. All right, let's talk about JP. All right, well, we got Bitcoin payments skyrocket. We have merchants number tripled to over 6,000 worldwide. So that's pretty huge there. We're seeing more and more adoption. That's going to grow a whole bunch in 2025 and 2024. JP Morgan predicts China's yuan dethroning the US dollar. That seems not great here. So Chinese yuan, in the grand scheme, emerging as the poster child of this movement. Enter Alexander Wise of JP Morgan. He isn't just talking about their growth. He's linking it directly as a future of a heavyweight of the global economic arena. They're the roadmap of how this could climb to the top there. So he's a bold prediction for China. Chinese billionaire behind the Himalaya exchange indicted for $1 billion scheme here. This was, I think it was a Himalayan stablecoin. The indictment alleges that the fund raised for this enterprise were used for $100 million investment in a hedge fund, $36 million mansion, a $62,000 TV.
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
What the heck do you even get for that? $53,000 firewood holder that just holds the firewood? Wow. Okay. $3.5 million Ferrari, a Bugatti worth $4.4 million, and a $27 million yacht. And I thought they said drugs. $1 million worth of rugs, not drugs. Rugs. So some nice rugs as well.
How big of a TV is that? 62,000.
That's an expensive TV.
Even if you throw in 3D and a nice border and everything, what is going into the TV that's 62,000?
A hologram pops out like the Ring, and so you send it to your enemies. I don't know. I don't
40.
know.
It's 40. Actually, you can feel if it comes out and slaps you.
600-inch TV. Yeah. Well, what exactly happened here? Well, he created this thing called the Himalaya Exchange, and they claim to be a cryptocurrency ecosystem that they had the Himalaya dollar stablecoin and Himalaya coin. However, the system was not a true cryptocurrency system. It did not have a public blockchain. Instead, this was all on an internal database. And the only place where it was possible to trade these coins was through the Himalaya exchange. Yeah, we get those dollars coming in. Good luck for the dollars coming out, though. Let's see here. We have a whole lot being yanked out of American banks in 1 year. New U.S. banking crisis, all too likely in 2024. I thought for sure we're going to get that banking crisis in 22. Did not happen. They managed to kick the can down the road. We're saying a lot of money is going to be leaving banks. And who's saying this? It is an IMF insider. He's a former deputy director at the IMF here. I want to know, what does he say? And this is from Chinese state-run media. So you know what? Maybe take this headline with a grain of salt there. Let's see. Digital Currency Group has paid off $1 billion in short-term debt, says Barry Silbert. Can you Google Barry Silbert sweating?
Yeah.
Barry Silbert sweating. He's saying the VC firm has settled over $1 billion in debt, including the nearly $700 million owed to Genesis, aka the Winklevi twins. So Genesis had to file the lawsuit to recover the loans. And it looks like, hey, they've now paid off $1 billion and paid off all the money owed to Genesis. This was one of the hangups for the crypto bull run. I will say, we had a lot of potential red flags, and this was one of them. So it's good to see that that's now taken care of. Do we have a sweaty picture? Not really.
Not really.
I'm thinking Mashinsky is sweaty more, but Barry just seems like he parties hard.
Maybe.
Maybe
I'm not seeing it. I typed in Barry Silbert sweating, and I'm not seeing like a
What
ridiculous
does Barry? He
picture.
kind of looks like Greg. Greg, the meme account. A little bit of a Greg there going on there. I don't know.
He found his alt account.
Here we have, all right, what are the odds of an XRP ETF, folks? Does that make you inside? What will we have happen to the price if we get an XRP ETF even announced or explored? With the SEC positive action news, it took a day or two, but we had a doubling, a 2x.
Yeah.
What would an ETF do? I don't know. You can still watch Curb Your Enthusiasm. Yeah, great continuation of Seinfeld.
Going back to the ETF question about XRP, do you think you get both an ETF for XRP and an IPO for Ripple?
It just seems weird.
It seems like it would be very counterintuitive. So one or the other.
Do you remember we asked James, what does he see as the most likely ETF after Bitcoin, after Ethereum? Do you remember what he said?
He kind of speculated he didn't think one was going to happen, but Solana,
if he had to guess.
But but again, until we get either clarity about what a security actually is, or Gary Gensler is no longer head of the SEC, I think this is the point he was really making. He doesn't see another one happening with the current administration. Let's get a change in the room, and then we can talk about what's next.
All right. Well, kind of, you can get an XRP ETF, but it's kind of there's an asterisk here because it's a mutual fund index kind of crypto coins. It's Grayscale, and they have the Digital Large Cap Fund, GDLC. And within this, they're increasing their exposure to Avalanche and re-adding XRP to the fund. Now it looks like XRP is going to make 2.5%, roughly around what's that, 1/40th. Notably, this reintegration has sparked enthusiasm within the XRP community. So that's pretty cool. Now you can get a little exposure. Now Grandma can get a little exposure to this large cap fund. 2.5%. That's nothing to shake a stick at there.
No.
What do I always say is one of the best traders in crypto? Drew, do you remember who? Who do I always say is one of the, if he buys or sells, you should pay attention?
Justin Sun.
Well, has he made a move lately?
I think I saw he made a few moves like 2 weeks ago, but I can't.
And I always say in relation to one coin in particular.
Yeah, it's
ETH.
Tron.
Well, he's related to ETH, but I always talk about he sold the top of ETH.
Mm-hmm.
He also bought a bottom of ETH. And I think he sold 2 tops of ETH. Well, Justin Sun and another whale accumulate $180 million worth of Ethereum in less than 2 weeks, according to Looks On Chain. $182 million since December 26th. So we're not talking about that much time. And a wallet beginning, is this mine? 0x9314. They've purchased a total of $143 million since New Year's Day from decentralized exchanges. So whales are accumulating ETH here. Additionally, they spotted Sun withdrawing a total of around $40 million from Binance, burying it around Christmas, presumably to custody and cold storage for the time being. According to Looks On Chain, they're a master of accumulating ETH when prices are cheap and selling during rallies. Makes me want to go long on ETH. I like this. I like this.
Yeah.
Very, very bullish. This is the most bullish thing we've said for ETH in a while. Justin Sun is net buying. So whale amounts too. Whale amounts. And another whale that's done very well buying and selling ETH.
Hard to argue.
They're
that.
entering the market. So I've said this repeatedly. I think 2024 is going to be a major year for ETH. And I expect it to, not be lagging behind its peers because I've said it, ETH 2x for 23, Bitcoin 3x, Solana 11x. I can see ETH doing, beating some of these coins that I just said. XRP too.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, especially if they get back to being deflationary and fix their gas fee problem, which again, that's the hope here in just a couple of months. We're going to see that update really boost Ethereum. Could get explosive.
Sunny is a great show. Arrested Development. Bob Law. Which is a very, very funny line. The League was good as well. Larry David is a very, very funny person, except for when he talks bad about crypto. Even then he's kind of funny. Here we have bad news for Solana. Solana FUD. Polygon NFT volume surpasses Solana, claiming the spotlight. So it looks like Solana NFT sales are kind of down here. Polygon, 10.5 million. Solana, 4.1 million. Polygon had a pretty good day. So hey, good job, Matic. I wouldn't, bust out the red flag for Solana
Matic?
just yet, though.
Matic or Dot?
Polygon. Wasn't it?
Oh, you said Polygon. Okay, I thought you said Dot.
Let's see. They start with POL. Pretty close.
Well, the other thing is Matic's only up 0.25% of the day. Solana's up 6%. So, from price action, Solana still has the last laugh there.
Last laugh, just like maybe BlackRock and the ETFs. And I've said Arbitrum will have the last laugh versus OP. Specifically, when it comes to those two chains, Arbitrum takes lead in daily DEX volume for the first time, surpassing Ethereum and Solana. I've said why. The VCs have chosen Arbitrum for TVL. We've done a couple videos on it, so I'm more bullish on ARB than I am OP. Now we have them making even bigger and bigger benchmarks there. So a lot of people are saying I'm bullish on OP because base is built. Johnny says that. I just go where the whales go, though.
That's a good debate that we should ask chat. Chat, comment in, and we can make a poll too. But we comment in: are you an ARB fan or an OP fan? That is one that has been going on. Yeah, that's been going on for a while. It seems like it flip flops every other month. Which one looks like it's going to be winning? But who are you a bigger fan of, Arbitrum or Optimism? If you're watching this back later, go ahead and comment which one you think is better. And
make sure you follow Around the Blockchain. They just did a message inside the chat. So we moved ATB Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to that channel once again. Check it out. It's some of the best content. I'm not just saying that because I'm biased, because I'm the host. We have a great time. We're laughing. We're dropping down those hot takes we probably wouldn't want to share elsewhere. We do have a hot take here. Arbitrum FUD. I just went from championing it, and now it's time for me to crap all over it. Rug pull shock in the ecosystem. A dev stole $1 million. I wouldn't worry too much. 552 ETH. It was worth 1.02 million.
That's not that big of a deal.
So it's X Kingdom. It was a project on the ARB network. Suddenly ceased operations. Their official Twitter account has been deleted, and the website no longer accessible. I'm sure agents are after them right now as we speak. Synthetics gets a major overhaul with a deflationary upgrade. So Synthetics price action might get a little bit more exciting. The whole synthetic nature, no one cares about that anymore. Trading synthetic assets.
No.
It's real world assets have taken over.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we don't want to just like have some, one coin kind of leading the way. Byte is Grox. AI dog. Jake, good job. I hope it doesn't end up in the State Farm, where all the dogs go. Eventually there. Let's see. Q&A. You get a couple questions in. Share my screen here. There's a new meme token on Cardano. Keep an eye out. They have a slot machine thing that's kind of cool. Let's see. Shout out to Matthew, Matt Snyder. Matt Snyder's been doing something pretty cool. Unsolicited door knocks with hedge fund managers. And he asked 25 of them what they think about Bitcoin, and then he shared his takeaway there. So if you want to see what the normies think, he breaks it down. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Caleb Franzen, make sure you follow that account. He's always putting out really cool stuff as well. What else do we got? Let's see. Look at ARB unlock. Oh yeah, so ARB has a huge unlock. I think might be like September. What is it? Token unlocks? I'll have to look that up real quick. So I am aware, and that is, thank you for pointing that out. That is something to keep an eye out on. Tokenunlocks.app. I think this is it. Yeah, I think this is it. All right, well, we'll check this out live. I know you guys like checking out the live research here. Upcoming event, 67 days. It's March. It is March. So keep an eye out on that. You see this giant cliff. I think a lot of this is going to be priced in. But yeah, keep an eye out on that. Big one in March. You could probably get a cheaper entry after that. After that, it's going to be, similar to what you see with a lot of DeFi protocols. But yeah, thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, ARB has a large unlock in March. So maybe if you get in now and you get some profits, don't feel bad about, maybe taking some there. Love from India. Love back to you. I'm very, very bullish on India. Largest English-speaking nation in the world. Lowest divorce rates. Highly educated, motivated middle class. You guys in the Bit Lab, with Kelly hanging out. Can we have a Cardano ETF? Probably not anytime soon, but eventually, I think it will happen. All right. Fren, FREN. I put in a little bit. I'm probably down on it. FREN is also another meme token. Who knows? Caleb is awesome. I would agree there. Anything else you wanted to add?
Wow, this is good.
Drew, how was your weekend? Did you do any chicken coop repairing?
Well, my neighbor's trying to sell his house, so I had to kind of round up all the chickens so they didn't attack the real estate agent.
That's nice.
You know, and then
so you rounded them up. You have them in a cage now.
Yeah, I mean, they have a big, gated house area. I just leave the door open usually, but the real estate agent had a concern. I have 3 roosters, and they were at risk, so I had to lock them up. Then I got a new TV. The dog ate the remote one day after getting the new TV. So,
was it $62,000?
Yeah, no, it wasn't 62,000. That's insane. Like you can get a really big TV for just $500. So. Yeah.
Morgan Powell, thank you for the 5th super on the stream here. You got a question. Biggest gains this year, Chainlink versus ICP. I'll tell you what, I'll look at this live. Here's what I'm going to use as a metric here. I'm going to look at ICP. Well, I think it's cooled down enough. Wow, 12% now. All right, so we go to the 1 year. And I know this isn't, much to shake a stick at here. Let's say we started at 4, now we're at 13. Okay, pretty close to a 3x there, pretty close. Link, however, I'm almost 4. Link is probably not going to be as good. Okay, only a 2x with a little bit of change there. Oh man, Sergey likes to dump. I'm gonna go with ICP. I like Chainlink more. I think I have to go with ICP though.
I'm gonna disagree. I'm gonna say Chainlink.
Chainlink's gonna have it. All right, Drew, bigger pump for the year. ICP, Chainlink.
Oh, it's gonna be Chainlink. Chainlink. I think Chainlink's gonna have a better year. ICP, that one is. If it makes it to the top 10 in this environment we're in right now, it's gonna be somewhere around $200 a token. So. Just keep that in mind. We have an insanely bullish setup for altcoin setup. We're going to go through a little bit of pain while Bitcoin steals the show for a moment, but then these top alts are going to be taking the helm. So
that's what always preludes altcoin season, though, when Bitcoin takes the stage. That's another reason to be bullish on altcoins as Bitcoin kind of takes back over. Is we don't really ever see a time period where Bitcoin takes the lead and then all of a sudden everything just goes dumps like crazy. You're going to at least see a time period where alts pop back up. And then you can see a nice collapse for both of them together. But
someone asked me about Flying Avocado CAD. It is up 10% today. It's probably going to go down. It's a meme token.
Flying Avocado.
It has a non-listed market cap. Okay, 10 million. So if it was $1, it'd be. Oh my God, is this that can't be right? 10 million max supply, and if it was $1, it'd be a $10 million supply. If it was 60 cents, it'd be a $6 million market cap. Is this really a $600,000 market cap? I shouldn't even tell you about it. All right, that's what I think about it. I shouldn't even tell you about it because someone could put in $1,000 and make it move a lot, or they could sell $1,000 and make it move a lot. Okay, so not just one direction that thing could go.
Yeah.
Where's your hat, Baldy? Fleece doesn't go with my fleece. I was wearing a fleece earlier, so bald is beautiful, as someone said.
Yeah.
Master my castle is a good one. Eating the ice cream out of the garbage was a good one, where he knocks the kids over. That was a good one. Did you say One Direction? Does Taylor like One Direction? Does Taylor like Taylor?
So. She's a big Swiftie.
She's a Swiftie. Kat's a Swiftie. Yeah. Is Tia a Swiftie?
Oh man, I mean, she doesn't. She kind of looks like her, but no, not too much.
Not too much. And are you a Swiftie, Hannah? Used to be.
Oh, what'd she do to piss you off?
Wow.
Still loves her.
Is it because she dates Mr. Pfizer and you don't like that?
Yeah, I think she's a very smart businesswoman now.
Oh yeah, she definitely.
I'm not as much as a Swiftie fan, but it
is. Yeah. Okay. All right. Is last question here, then we'll wrap it up. Is now a good time to buy Matic? You know what? I'll let you answer that one, Tim. You're the TA guy. I'm just kind of looking at the price here. It's 80 cents.
Let's take a look.
Down a little bit.
Take a look. I think the answer is going to be somewhat yes if you're talking about long term. But if you're saying, could we ever see prices below 80 cents? I still think so. I still think there's going to be at least an altcoin bleed, and there already has been one. A lot of these have already bled. Like I think Cardano was down 30%, Matic dipped 32%, which is pretty significant. But I think we still could see closer towards a 50 to 60% dip on a lot of these. But I would be very happy with a purchase, a DCA purchase of 80 cents on Matic for the long term haul.
All right, and yes, GRT is a sleeping giant, but let me share one thing with you really quick. Jat OG. On the price chart, it looks great, right? Oh, wow, it's only 16 cents, and we are above $2. But if you hit market cap, You can see, oh, the multiples that I thought were there aren't really there. It's only a 3x to hit previous all-time high, so just be careful with that. But folks, Byte, new meme coin. Hey, good luck with that outside. And that's all we got for you, everybody. I wish I could have seen what How To You said. It's all
it's all Byte stuff.
Oh, it's all Byte. All right. Well, good luck with that one. All right, folks, that's all we got. Thank you for joining. It was an excellent episode. We're coming off a lot of momentum.
Yeah.
We're going to have a lot more momentum for this week. It's going to be a very choppy week. Make sure you go and hit that like button. Make sure you check out our videos from this weekend. And we just interviewed the Bloomberg ETF analyst. If you didn't catch it live on Friday, we re-uploaded it. Check that out as well. We'll see a lot of you in the basement.